guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to do another foundation review. I told y'all I would put a week in between since my last foundation review. And today we're going to be talking about the brand new Bobbi Brown Skin Longwear Weightless Foundation SPF 15. This is very new. I mean, I feel like it's only been out for a few weeks at most. I did keep the box so I could read the ingredients, and from what I see, there is no alcohol in this, but it does have fragrance added, and it is the 13th ingredient out of like 30. So it's like halfway down the list. It comes in 1 fluid ounce and it retails for $46. It does come in 30 shades. So it's not like an extensive 40 shade like for Fenty or Lancome or Makeup Forever, but it's still a nice shade range, nicer, I guess I should say, than some of the other higher end foundations that give you like 7 shades to choose from. The claims on the foundation are that it will give you a 16-hour wear with medium coverage. And what's funny is that, like, I got this off the Sephora website, and in the claim section where they give you bullet points, it says medium coverage, but then in the body of the description, it says full coverage. So, spoiler alert, I think it's a medium coverage. It says that it's for normal to combo oily skin. So, know that right off the bat, they do not market this for dry skin. Normal, combo, or oily is who they say this will work best for, and that it provides a natural matte finish, that it's waterproof and sweat and humidity resistant. It comes in a glass bottle, and it does come with a pump. I like this. It has like a little bit of a frosted glass, whereas her skin foundation is just a plain see-through glass. And then of course she has her stick foundation. What other foundations does she have? A serum foundation. Oh, on the coverage claim, it does say on the bottle, full cover, oil-free, shine control foundation. The SPF 15 is a mixture of octinoxate 3.0 and titanium dioxide, so it's a mix of physical and chemical sunscreen. So if you want to see how this works on my skin, I'm going to do a short demo, and then I'm just going to give you kind of my final thoughts. I'm not going to go into a full day check-in because it's late and I just don't have time. So if you want to see how this works on my skin, be sure and stay tuned. All right, so we are going to get started. And while I have used this foundation with a lot of primers, I've used the Becca Backlight Priming Filter, the Becca Blurring one, the YSL one, the 100% Pure Luminous Primer. I've used a lot of primers with it, but every single like little Instagram tutorial that I see from actual Bobbi Brown makeup artists, they're always using that new product from Bobbi Brown. It's like some kind of glow. It looks like MAC Strobe Cream. It's like a glow-based lotion, so that's what I'm going to use. I'm going to use MAC Strobe Cream to see how that works underneath it. And I just have the original, what they call pink strobe, but it's basically the original strobe cream. So that's what I'm going to use, is kind of like my moisturizing primer today. Just because I want to see if it makes a difference, since all the Bobbi Brown girls do it. All right, I'm going to color correct with my Amazing Cosmetics Amazing Concealer Corrector. Now let's get into the foundation. So again, I'm in Warm Beige 3.5, and it does have a pump. I'm sure I'm already showing you that. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you that I like to try all my foundations out with a brush and a sponge, because I like to see which one is better suited for it. I rarely ever use my fingers on a foundation. There are a couple that work best that way, but this is not one of them. And it does say on the how to use section of Sephora that you can use it either with a sponge or a brush. I prefer this foundation with a sponge. I am not a full coverage cakey makeup type of person. That's not what I go for. And so I feel like the sponge shears it out just enough to where I'm comfortable using it, and where I feel like it looks the best. So that's what we're going to do today. And just so I'm going to show you, I just did 1 pump, and that's how much comes out. So just so you know, if I tell you I use 3 pumps or 2 pumps, y'all know that is 1 pump, and so you'll kind of have an idea of how much I'm using. I'm going to start out with 2 pumps and go from there. I feel like I used 3 total, but let's just see. So, you know, I always like to use different powders with it too. I used what did I use? I use the Note Press Powder, which I believe I talked about in my December favorites because I love it so much. That gives a little bit more of a luminous finish. The RMS powder is a very mattifying powder, at least on me. And I used that one day. And then I used my By Terry Dual Compact Powder one day. And I really very lightly set it that last day, because I wanted to see if this was going to be something that I felt like I needed to set, or if somebody with dry skin, even though it's not marketed to that, if they were to try it, if maybe not setting it would help. So I feel like the color is pretty spot on. I'm glad I did not go darker. I was tempted to. Okay, so just right off the bat, that's a very small layer. I don't even think that's a pump worth, and the pumps are not that large. Like, they don't provide a ton of product. So that is with the foundation, forehead, and side of the face, and this is without. There's something that's giving me little bumps around here on my face, and I pray that it is not the foundation that I'm trying out, that I've just started trying out the past couple days, because I really like it. But if it's breaking me out like this, I can't handle it. So you see, just this is the redness that I deal with on a daily basis. So I still see a little bit of it, but I feel like it's a light to medium coverage straight out the bat with a sponge. It does provide more of a straight medium coverage when you use a brush. So let's do the other side. And I am going to use 3 pumps because I'm already done with what's on my hand. So, I don't know. I wouldn't say this is a full coverage foundation. I know it says in the claims part of Sephora that it's a medium coverage, but then in the description it says it provides a full coverage. I don't think it's a full coverage foundation. I just think maybe with a brush you can build it up to that, but I don't think you're going to want to. I don't think you're going to be happy with the finish of it. I think it's a strong medium coverage, which again, I am A-okay with, because that's what I prefer anyways, a light to medium. Okay, so that is 2 pumps. Completely off the back of my hand, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to take one more and just put it where I'm my most red, and then just tap it in. So I do feel like it's buildable. When I first said it was light to medium, I do feel like it builds with a sponge to a solid medium. My chin is always the most red, so I will likely go over that with concealer. I feel like the color match is so good though, I don't really even have to take it down my neck, which is good. While I used 3 pumps of product, I really think it's more equivalent to like 2 normal pumps from another foundation because of how little product comes out with each pump. But that's the finished product with 3 pumps from this foundation. I feel like my pores look okay. As far as, it is tacky. It is tacky. And I'm not going to wait to see how long that lasts, but upon first application, it is tacky. Just know that. I don't know that the strobe cream really did much to illuminate my skin underneath. I feel like it is what it calls a natural matte finish. It's not like flat matte, but it's definitely not a radiant or luminous finish. So I'm going to go ahead and finish my makeup, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I have my makeup finished, and just a couple points that I want to talk to y'all about. Cream stuff applies fine over this. I have no issue with that. Concealers apply fine over this. I have no issue with that. It really doesn't budge or move anywhere. You know what I didn't do? I didn't spray my face. I'll stop there. I could go on for like 20 more sprays, but... So what I did do, when I set it a couple days ago with the By Terry Dual Compact Powder, which is to me is a very radiant powder, and it's a very light powder. It doesn't have a huge amount of setting power to it. I felt like it still wore beautifully, and I felt like it looked the best that day. I think a lot of it had to do with that was the first day I used a sponge, but I think again it was the powder. I don't think this requires a very heavy powder if you do have more normal combo skin. I prefer it with a lighter powder. So today I used my MAC Next to Nothing powder. And again, I haven't used this before, but I really like how it just didn't make it look very matte. Again, it's still not luminous by any means, but I feel like the spray and the highlight and the powder help achieve a more natural look versus a flat matte. Pores look good and everything. So I basically already told you what primers and powders I used. I'm not going to go through every single day like I normally do, because I just feel like that would be kind of repetitive. But I will go ahead, because it's so late in the day, I'm not going to do a check-in either. Sorry, y'all. We've had snow days. It's the holiday, like, that we're out of school for MLK. It's just, I'm doing what I got time for. So I'm just going to go ahead and tell you right now what my final thoughts are about this foundation. To me, now I want to preface by saying, if you go on to Sephora and look at the reviews, a lot of the reviews are stellar and a lot of them are really bad for people who have extremely oily skin. They say it just doesn't hold up. I don't have extremely oily skin, so I cannot contest to that. However, I feel like it would work okay on oily skin because of how well it does hold up on me, and just because, I mean, I try so many different foundations. I work with a lot of different skin types. I kind of can feel like how a foundation might hold up. So I do feel like if you have oily skin, especially if you prime accordingly, I think you will like this. My final thoughts are, with a sponge and a lighter powder, this is what I want Estee Lauder Double Wear to be. I've said it many times, but if you haven't heard, I'm not a fan of Estee Lauder Double Wear unless it is mixed with something else. And when I mean mixed with something else, I'm talking about like the By Terry CC Serum or Maestro Glow, something that is all pretty much a glow base, because I need a lot of help when it comes to Estee Lauder Double Wear. I do not have dry patches. I really have normal skin. Occasionally I'll get some tightness in the winter, but with my skincare, I don't really have that. So I just feel like Estee Lauder Double Wear is for the oiliest of oily of oily. I just don't like it on me. And so this is what I feel like Estee Lauder Double Wear is to everybody else for me. I tend to not like or have things not work for me that everybody else in the world loves. So I don't know, this gives a very long wear. I mean, I wore it for 16 hours, was the longest I've worn it, which is what it claims. And it was perfectly fine, especially if you use like the RMS powder or something. I mean, it did not look a stitch different at night. Granted, it's like 5 degrees here with ice and snow, and so it's not like I'm really testing the waterproof or sweat humidity claim. But I do look forward to wearing this in the summer because I do feel like, in comparison to a lot of the other foundations I have, it will hold up very, very well. Doesn't exaggerate pores. I don't feel like it clings onto any clogged pores that I might be dealing with. Everything works great on top of it. Again, I don't find that it like melts off during a workout, so I guess I can kind of do the sweat resistant claim because I don't feel like it streaks or melts off in any form during a workout. That's something good to go for, at least if you have oily skin or if you work out with makeup on. So even though I kind of feel like I've been going around and around, my very final thoughts are, if you have normal to combo skin, I think you're going to absolutely love this foundation. If you have dry skin, like with visible dry patches, I'm not sure you are going to love it, but it's not marketed to dry skin. So, you know, I saw some reviews with people with dry skin just bashing this foundation, and I just want to be like, well, they're not saying it's going to work for you. So that's not very fair for you to come on and like bash it because they never claim that it would work for you in the first place. Very oily skin, maybe get a sample and try it with your most favorite primer and powder combo just because of the reviews that I have seen. But again, normal to combo skin, I really think you're going to love this. If you don't like Estee Lauder Double Wear because it does feel a little too heavy and mask-like, I really think you're going to like this. I have very much enjoyed it with, again, the sponge and a lighter powder. I do feel like it's a little makeup-y with a brush and a heavier powder. It's easily fixed. And again, if you have oily skin, using a heavier powder and a brush with your natural oils, it'll probably look the same as it does on me with a sponge and a lighter powder. So I kind of feel like I'm talking in circles right now, but hopefully you get the gist of my final thoughts on this foundation. I do think it's worth it. I wish that it didn't have fragrance. I mean, I wish that all foundations didn't have fragrance. I don't understand it. Because of that, it's not one that I'm going to use every single day. I never use a foundation with an alcohol or fragrance in it for more than 2 days in a row without like 4 days in between. Just because I want my skin to be able to breathe and not get clogged up. But other than that, I think it's a really good foundation. I think you're going to enjoy it. So hopefully this review helped you in some form or fashion. And let me know if you tried it. Let me know if you're going to try it. And let me know what you thought of it, whether it's good or bad, as long as you're nice about it. I mean, I only accept nice comments on this channel. I'll just delete them if they're not. So as always, I really appreciate y'all watching. Be sure and subscribe if you haven't already so you don't miss out on any future videos. And I hope you all go out and have a very blessed day.